Equalization. Okay, we'd like to welcome everyone to the Board of Equalization meeting today, and we'll get started right away. We have a few here attending physically. Is there anyone online that are participating in this from the public? May we have any? Okay, we got Ben Stanley. Can you hear us? Vicky Westergaard, can you hear us?
I can hear you, Commissioner Sakovich.
Okay, Vicky. Okay, we'll go ahead. The last four of 8145. Who is this? Vicky, can you hear us then instead? You may have to unmute. Okay, we'll let them work their end for now and go forward.
8145 is us, by the way.
Yeah. That's you, okay. Okay, we'll begin by getting into our regular agenda. Are there any items? That's right, I apologize. Commissioner Gardner has to be out of town, and so she's unable to participate by phone or by Zoom, so we excuse her for that. And given that, I have to suspend the rules so that the two of us can vote. Thank you for that reminder, Sally. We'll go ahead and look at the approve the minutes of the past Board of Equalization meetings. Looking at approved review process report. Are there any questions about either of those sets of information? Any of these we need to hold? One
No.
through four.
No, I'll make a motion that we approve items 1, 2, 3, and 4 as stated.
And I can second that motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That passes 2-0. Okay, item 5, approve or deny the reinstatement of the primary residential exemption on the parcels listed on the attached spreadsheet for tax year 2022. And that looks like it's a mixture of tenants and multiple tenants and primary residencies. Any comments on that?
I'll make a motion that we approve number 5 on our regular agenda.
I can second that. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That passes 2-0. Number 6, approve or deny property tax exemption application for the Heritage Behavioral Health System. Serial number, last four is 0002. Comments on that one?
We held this for a reason. I can't remember what the reason was. They weren't notified.
Is there someone here from Heritage now?
Yes, I believe we got Russ Depew on the phone, yeah. And I
Russ.
unmuted him so he can talk.
Russ, are you here to speak on behalf of the Heritage Behavioral Health System?
Yes, I am.
Go ahead and make some comments about this item, please.
So both 6 and 7 are two new properties that we acquired to move some of our students into different stimulus environments to continue their treatment. We have properties located at 759 North in Orem, as well as the 5600 Heritage School Drive campus in Provo. And we'll extend some of our students into these two other properties to offer treatment in their continuum of care, but in a little bit different stimulus environment.
So you're referring to this as like, you go from one facility, then they advance into the second facility for their treatment.
To some degree. Now, the one in Payson, number 7, is more of a less stimulus environment. So these will be designed for adolescent female at birth students, 9th through 12th grade, ages 14 through 17 and a half. And these students will, they have some sort of neurodivergent diagnosis on the spectrum, and level 1. And then we'll continue treatment for these students at that location solely. So they would not be moving from the other locations. This is an independent program for ASD female students.
Okay. Adam?
So Adam Beck, Utah County Attorney's Office. In this application, it's for an educational exemption. And I just wanted to address a couple concerns. For it to be used for educational purposes, under 59-1101, it says educational purposes means proposed carried out by an educational organization that normally maintains a regular faculty and curriculum and has a regularly enrolled body of pupils and students. In
That's right.
number 7, in their application in the Schedule A, they state Heritage will be furnished and finishing the property to accommodate students and facilitate their treatment. It is anticipated that the students will be enrolled by February of 2023. So the concern is that it may be likely that it'll be a regular facility with the curriculum, with regularly enrolled students, but it appears as if that they're not quite there yet. It's not going. That concern is not in number 6. One of the concerns is the concern is that it's a late application.
Okay.
Yeah, and we do have some modifications to make it at those properties, but part of that too is the licensing required by the state to get them in, inspect that, and allow students to be housed. So that's part of that delay.
Okay.
This is Vicki Westergaard. I hope you can hear me. I'm having headphone problems. So has the one that was going to, one that ends with the 02, that said there would be occupancy by mid-August, did that happen?
No, so the state, we did our annual renewal for our other properties. We've submitted the application. They inspected that, I believe it was about 2-3 weeks ago, and we have not yet received a physical license to allow students to go on there in that property. So again, I mean, that one is ready to go, just waiting for the go-ahead from the state before we put students there. So those students are currently at our 5600 Heritage School Drive property, receiving that treatment as they would if they were at the South Orem property.
Do you think it will be approved before the end of the year?
That's the anticipation. We thought it would be at the end of October based on the words of the state, but timing of our other renewals probably put that inspection so that they could do it at one time. But I would anticipate by the end of the year, yes.
So right now it's for future use because you haven't been able to move students in there.
Yeah, technically to declare that as when they would be used, yes, in the future.
Right. Okay. Adam, are you there? Adam Beck?
Yes, I'm here.
So since it's not, neither one of them are eligible now, do we continue this till January? What do we do? Because right now neither one would be eligible because it's for future use.
This is Paul Jones. The board could, you could continue it, like Vicky mentioned. That's an option. You could approve it contingent on proof being provided, possibly to Bert's office that they've got students on the premises for 2023. Just two options off the top of my head.
Well, given everything, their work with the state and trying to get that done, there's been delays there. I'm inclined to continue this. What is the most effective way to doing it, though? Is it when the students arrive, or wait until a certain date when the facility is completed?
Well, if we were to approve it contingent upon them having students in the facility, then it wouldn't necessarily have to come back to us. It would just be a trigger that would happen when the students actually arrived.
Yeah, and at this point, yeah, you may want to just specify. Are you trying to do it prorated 2022, or are you trying to do it for the 2023 tax year? I guess would be something you maybe just want to specify.
That would depend on when they come in. If they came in on December 31st, I mean, the prorating for 2022 would be not hardly anything.
Right.
Mr. Chairman, and if I can jump in here real quick, the question, of course, here is whether or not the property currently qualifies for the charitable exemption based on, is it currently in use, and does the organization meet the standard for an educational exemption? So the first question is do they meet the standard for an educational organization? I don't know if we've necessarily addressed that completely yet. I don't know if we've given behavioral health systems an exemption based on the educational in the past. I believe they've been based on charitable. Educational is a different standard. It requires basically students and teachers a regular curriculum. So I don't know if that question's been fully answered to the board, if the board has.
It has
got
been it has been approved as an educational exemption in previous year. Yeah.
Then the second question is whether or not it's now been entered in exclusive use. I'd like to point out that exclusive use doesn't necessarily mean that there are students on the facility. It means that the facility has been dedicated to exclusive use by the organization. A school stays in exclusive use even when there aren't students there in the summer. So if the property has been, under construction or has been being built, or it's under the process of final approval for the state, but building, permits have been issued, they've taken ownership, they've taken possession of it and dedicated irrevocably to exclusive use, that's a question that has to be decided based off their application and what they've presented. So I just wanted to offer that clarification.
So in my mind, it sounds like, again, they've had a little bit of a handicap with the state in getting their licensing process completed. And so they've been delayed not because of their lack of preparation, but because waiting on another agency. So maybe the ideal is to continue this until students actually begin to arrive, especially if they expect it to be as late as February.
So just to clarify, Commissioner, on property 6, that property is ready to go as it is, awaiting the license. Property 7, located in Payson, has additional improvements that need to be done before that can be inspected by the state. But that process is all underway right now, and that is the intent. Target date is that we have students in there by February. We've already made offers on new hires to accommodate that facility, that are dedicated to that facility. So they are in training, but to actually house students there, we'll have to await the modifications and the licensing from the state.
So I'll make a motion that we continue item number 6, and then approved after they have continued their process and have their students in place, and that and then on item number 7 that we strike this agenda item until they've gone completely through the process.
And are we using the student arrival as the completion of agenda 6? It becomes automatically approved then. Okay. And I can second that. And I can also second number 7. We can strike that. So all in favor for 6 to be continued until arrival of students. And strike.
Is there a comment? Is there a comment to it, Paul?
If you don't mind, yeah. Just talking with Bert. I don't know if the board wants to consider the, and he was referencing it, but as soon as construction has begun, then they could qualify. So that, I'm not sure if the board was considering the building permit or having construction begun on the properties.
Are you talking about item number 7?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know, was there any construction needed on 6?
No, for 6, he says it's ready to go.
Well, it's ready to go now, but
yeah.
is that because they've constructed?
It's ready, waiting for the state to finish its licensing process.
But is that because they've done construction to get to this point? Or?
Russ, is the construction completed, isn't
So-
for item 6?
Well, and I hate to use the word construction because these aren't major modifications, but such as to put students in a safe environment, these things are as simple as changing out the style of lighting, the shower heads, the shower rods, all of those things that are required by the state for safety purposes, not necessarily redesigning the interior or anything like that. So that's the construction that needs to take place.
Has that
Some of
started?
which might include railing, and all of that is completed on the Orem property on number 6. That is started, and started immediately when we purchased the property in Payson for item number 7. So yes, those are either completed for 6 or underway for number 7.
So the motion, I think, still
stands.
stands as we made it. So all in favor for approving or continuing number 6 upon arrival of the students will be in full use. Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That passes 2-0. Number 7, we make a motion and second it. All in favor of striking number 7, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Number 7 is stricken. Thank you, Russ. Okay, number
Thank
8
you.
is approve or deny petition on after filing deadline for parcel 0016. And it's appeal number 1345, 2022. Is anyone here to comment on this one? Anyone online then? Sally, none?
Commissioner, these are the next batch, of course, are late petitions. So we can just go through these one at a time. Each one of these are petitions that were filed, and the board has. We typically make a decision based off. The board typically makes a decision based off of the content of the petition. This petitioner requested that the sorry, let me pull this up.
Looks like she fell, his wife fell, fractured her
Yeah,
leg.
a medical reason.
It's a medical
Yeah.
reasons. I'll make a motion that we approve number 8 for the reasons stated in their application.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, that passes 2-0 as approved. Number 9, approve or deny a property evaluation after filing deadline for parcel 0068.
This is, this one is listed, was requested, late approval based off of factual error. They listed that their square footage was wrong. If the assessors, this would also require assessor's office to agree.
Yeah, they submit, this is Bert Garfield from the assessor's office. They submitted an appraisal showing a different square feet. There's 127 square feet difference between our measurement and the appraiser's measurement. It's not a significant amount, but there's some difference. Many appraisers think if it's within about 100 square feet the same, it's basically the same. But there is a difference. It's up to you if you want to approve it. But it's not a big difference in square feet.
I have no questions.
I'll make a motion that,
Sure, can I to make this probably right, we'll probably have to go back to their house and remeasure it ourselves.
sure. I'll make a motion that we approve the application as stated in number 9.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, passes 2-0. 10, approve or deny petition on a property valuation after filing deadline for parcel 0012.
Mr. Chair, the appellates filed this petition. Within the body of the petition, they addressed why the property valuation could be wrong. They listed several circumstances, but they really did not address as to why they were unable to file before the September 15th filing deadline. The auditor's office is not seeing anything in there that would really point to a extraordinary circumstance that prevented them from filing on time. They were obviously prevented from building, prevented from maybe selling for the price they wanted to sell, but not really addressing the issue as required, which is why they weren't able to file on time.
Yeah, there's confusions on the valuation and size of the property being built.
Clarissa Reeve, Assessor's Office. I've reviewed this. It's still a buildable lot, that they can't fit the house plan they want on it. Like, it's still a buildable lot. It's not, there's no factual error.
And I agree, under the extraordinary and anticipated circumstances, I don't see that. I see that there are differences of opinion more than there are extraordinary.
Yes.
I'd make a motion that we deny number 10.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, that passes as denied. Number 11, approve or deny property valuation after filing deadline for parcel 0009.
This appellant has stated that that they didn't receive the notice. Looking at their notice history, the notice has gone to the same address for the last couple of years, and the appellant did file an appeal last year, and it looks like was successful in their appeal too as well. So, to say they were not able, they did not know about the filing deadline seems, or they didn't get the notice. The notice did not get returned. It's up to the board.
Okay. This all answers my client's.
I'll make a motion that we deny the petition as stated in number 11.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That is also denied 2-0. Approve it. Number 12, to approve or deny petition property valuation after filing deadline for parcel 0049.
They're asking for consideration. They're asking for their late petition be approved based off of a factual error. The factual error they're stating is a percentage of completion question, and that would, again, defer to the assessor's office on that.
Is there anybody, is the property owner here by chance? Okay. So this property was under construction. We have photos in September. We have photos in November. I can show you photos, but, you know, we're supposed to assess things as they are on January 1st. And the latest photo I can find was in November, and it was about done. So we can't be at every house on the same day on January 1st, but in November, it was about done. So is it percent complete? Maybe. We assessed it as 100% complete. And I was curious to see if they would be here and they'd explain how far along the process was. But in November, the home was about done in construction. There's just a little bit more work to do on it.
Could you remind me on the percent completion on this,
Yeah.
how that works during the
So-
calendar year?
You know, a house is under construction, and let's say they've framed, but no exterior materials are on it yet, but it's just kind of framed. And that's the way it was on January 1st. Well, we might assess it at 40% complete. So if it was complete, what would it be worth? Multiply that by 40%, and that's the value. That's the assessed value. So we multiply the percent complete times its hypothetical condition that it's actually finished.
Okay.
So in November, it was almost done. And at the rate it went from September to November, they were going at a pretty quick clip. So if they were here, I'd be happy to hear about any evidence that shows they weren't really all the way done, but it would be at least 90% complete. So it's somewhere between 90 and 100% complete, but I don't know exactly.
The write-up is saying, it seems that the home was not habitable until May 4, 2022. So it sounds like by May, early May, it was all but done that needed to
Yeah.
be done on it.
Well, and that's the other issue is people get hung up on is they want a certificate of occupancy that says they can actually move in, and they assume that until they can move in, it's not taxable. But really, it's taxable even before they get the certificate of occupancy.
Okay.
I have
Do
a
you know
photo here.
when they had that certificate of occupancy, though?
Well, I just based on we don't know for sure when they got it, but just based on what they said it was May. But that seems late. Based upon where the condition it was in November, I think they would have been able to get it
Yeah,
before
here-
then.
They got the certificate on May 4th. It says the home was in new construction, was not given a certificate of occupancy until May 4, 2022.
And just for technical reasons, I didn't print off the photo in November, but I can show it to you on my phone if you're interested.
And so that'd be 5 months. I would be inclined, knowing that if that's true, that they didn't get their certificate of occupancy until May, then I'd be inclined to approve the petition to justify it, for them to go back and look at that value based off of what it,
Okay.
Okay.
that's my motion.
Yeah, and
To approve number 12.
I go with that. So I'll second that. So all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That number 12 stands as approved. Number 13, approve, deny property valuation after filing deadline for parcel 0001. Agenda number 13.
This one's pretty easy. The valuation notice was sent to an old address. We've approved situations like this in the past. Excuse me, the board has approved. I'm not we. I don't vote. So this has been approved in the past for the same circumstance.
Okay, great.
Even though they marked it as extraordinary circumstances.
Well, I mean, it's basically extraordinary circumstance, but
Yeah.
the notice was sent to the wrong address.
Right.
So
I'll make a motion that we approve number 13 as stated.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That passes as approved 2-0. Number 14, approve, deny property valuation after filing deadline for parcel number 0002.
The property owner stated that they ordered an appraisal, and that appraisal came back after the filing deadline. That's why they were not able to meet the filing deadline. It's important to note, I believe, and I would defer again to the assessor's office to make sure that I'm what I'm saying is factually correct, but a 2022 appraisal that's acquired in the fall of 2022 would really speak to the value that would be assessed by the county for the 2023 when property is valued for the purpose of the property tax. It has a lien date of January 1, which means the assessor's office is looking at sales data for the prior year. So essentially, all of the property values that were assessed this year, that were created this year, were based off of sales data from the latter half or most of 2021. So any new sales data typically would speak to the value for next year.
Okay.
And it's really it would be hard pressed to say that ordering an appraisal and then not getting it on time would be necessarily an extraordinary circumstance. But again, defer to the board on that one as well.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we deny number 14 as stated.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That passes as denied. Number 15, approve or deny property valuation after filing deadline for 0007.
So the appellant said that we had the bedroom and bathroom count wrong. Although I don't think they provide any evidence to support that, they just stated that. I did find an old MLS listing of this property. By the way, we show it as being 3 bedrooms. On an old MLS listing, one says there's 2 bedrooms, and another MLS listing says it has 3 bedrooms. But you should know that in our valuation models, bedrooms are not considered. So that wouldn't have made any difference in the value. It's the size of the house, not the number of bedrooms.
Not the number of
Square
bedrooms at all.
footage. So square footage is the same.
Well, the square footage would be, yeah. The only difference is we do use the number of bathrooms in the model. There's some evidence that it has 2 bathrooms. We think it has 2.5 bathrooms. So the difference would be the difference of a half a bathroom, which would be probably about $5,000.
Increase if it was a full half bathroom?
Well, it would be a
Excuse me,
decrease.
just decrease if it was a half bathroom.
But it's not going to, it's outside the precision of mass appraising to be within $5,000. So, but that's the big, only discrepancy is they might have 2 bathrooms when we think they have 2.5 bathrooms. The bedrooms wouldn't have had any effect.
Okay. Well,
And this is just so that they can have a, they can go through that process if they wanted to and actually show that they do or they don't. And so I'll make a motion that we approve number 15.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, that passes as approved, 2-0. Number 16, approve deny petition of property valuation after filing deadline for parcel 0013.
Again, this is a very easy one. It looks like the appellant had issues with filing their appeal online. The board has already approved petitions prior to this point for the similar reasons. I see no issue here.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we approve number 16 as stated.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, passes as approved. 17, approve or deny property valuation after filing deadline for parcel 0006.
The appellant stated the reason they missed the filing deadline is they were on a mission and did not receive their notice until after they got home. Previous boards have denied these in the past. Previous boards have approved these in the past. It's up to the board's discretion whether this would meet an extraordinary circumstance or not.
Depends where they were on their mission, if
And they
the
didn't-
package arrived or not.
Yeah, if they didn't forward their mail, well, of course, these do not forward. But I mean, if they weren't receiving their mail, or we don't know how they were maintaining their, critical mail during their time away. So they didn't provide much more detail on that.
Okay.
What do you want to do on this one?
I'm really curious where they served a mission, but there's not a whole lot of detail. Given the lack of information, I'm inclined to go the humanitarian route and just approve this particular one.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve number 17 as stated.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, that passes approved. Number 18, approve deny petition, property valuation after filing deadline for parcel 0060. Number 18.
Yet another easy one for the board to approve. This was sent to the wrong address due to a county error. The address of what the notice was mailed to did not match the warranty deed when it was recorded. So, not sure what happened, but obviously there was a mistake there.
That doesn't happen very often, but
Not very often.
yeah. Okay.
I'll make a motion that we approve number 18 as stated.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, that passes 2-0. Number 19, approve deny property valuation after filing deadline for parcel 0038.
Looking at the notice history on this one, it shows that both notices have been going to the same address since 2018. No notices have been returned undeliverable. They're asking for failure to notify. It does not show that we've had an issue, and the notices, the address of record matches the recorded deed. They did record a new deed, I believe, in the prior year, placing the property in a trust, but that didn't change the notification address.
They're aware of the, I forgot what the program is for extraordinary circumstances such as age or income that they can abate their property tax.
I'm not sure if they are, but that's certainly something we could reach out to the homeowners and offer if they have not heard of that program before.
Yeah, because reading the description, they might fit that.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, they're asking us to adjust the property tax in this description. But that's not the point of this meeting.
I would like to point out, just for the board's information, that if it appears on the agenda, that typically means they did provide enough evidence for an appeal to go forward, should their petition be accepted. If they didn't provide evidence, it's our standard practice to send them an intent to dismiss, so they are required to provide evidence in order to even be considered for their petition. So they did at least provide evidence for a valuation appeal to go forward if the board was to accept their reason for filing late.
Okay. I'm inclined to approve this one.
I'll make a motion to approve number 19 as stated.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, passes 2-0 is approved. Number 20, to approve or deny property valuation after filing deadline for parcel 0001.
My apologies, Commissioners. It looks like I didn't keep my notes on this one. Let me pull up their petition real quick.
This is extraordinary circumstances. They got it in time, didn't look at it until September of this year. They're appealing for 2 reasons. They're working to revive their assisted living businesses, which have been time consuming for the family. So they forgot about the changes. And since 2015, their appeal application had been granted. Circumstances remain unchanged. And the property is listed as vacant and is a destroyed piece of property. Their opinion is worth $36,000.
Clarissa Reeve, Assessor's Office. I did contact the city on this one about whether or not it would be considered a buildable lot. The city engineer told me that it would be considered buildable. There are some challenges, but given the area of the county and their neighbors, there are challenges everywhere. But yeah, the value did go up significantly.
And
So,
this is just for their vacant lot with destroyed.
I mean, it's not destroyed because the city says it's buildable. So, I mean, that would be a factual, and there's
Or buildable as from what it used to be.
so.
Repairable.
They're claiming that the city won't let them build because there isn't access because of the slope on the city's road. The city told me that they would let them build on it, that is not stopping them from building.
Okay.
So, and I have a sale across the street that was significantly higher, as well as a house that was built. So there are basically four properties that would be affected by the same issue. They're building a house on one of them, and then the lot across the street from this one sold. So,
And the purpose of this one is to allow them to file after the filing deadline.
Right. And really
That's
what's
what we're really boiling down to.
Yeah, really what's boiling down to is they're basically claiming they missed the filing deadline, and not to oversimplify this, but just to simplify it, they missed the filing deadline because they were busy and they weren't paying attention.
I'm inclined to approve this one.
As always, it's the board's discretion.
I hesitated on this one, but I'll follow your lead if you want to make that motion.
Go ahead and express your thoughts first.
Well, I mean, I just read their explanation. It said, we received the 2020 notice of property value on the tax changes in a timely manner. So they stated that they did receive them in a timely manner.
Forgot about it.
But however, we forgot about it. We forgot about, filing it. So that always, if they didn't receive it, that'd be something else. But they said they received it in a timely manner, and so I don't know. I mean, I'm really super soft on some deadlines and stuff like that. I think there's some fluctuation, but they come right out and say they received it and they didn't do anything about it. So it makes it really hard for me to just jump through that hoop really quick.
It was the fact that they are trying to get things restarted in their businesses that they basically forgot about it. So
Sure.
that's what I'm kept drawing out of that.
Yeah.
But that's true for every business, I would imagine. The penalty for filing late on this one would be,
Say that again. I'm sorry, Commissioner, what was your?
the penalty for filing after the deadline is what?
There's no penalty for filing after the deadline. If they file after the deadline, the penalty is they may not be able to qualify and have their appeal heard.
Okay.
And they still could go through the appeal process and still wind up paying the same amount.
Yes, that's
It's
correct.
it's not a matter of, it's just that they have an opportunity to say they think there's something in there in which they can convince, a hearing to sway a little differently.
Correct.
But I mean, they basically say here that it remains unchanged since our 2015 appeal application has been granted and the circumstances remain unchanged. It's unchanged, but the value is going to change obviously since
Right.
2015 till now.
yeah. Honestly, I would tell you to go ahead and open this one.
Open it
Yeah. Yep, approve it for a factual.
for factual.
Yeah, there's a little bit of an adjustment that can be made. It's not significant. It's not what they're asking for.
What's the
But even
factual?
the lot that sold that's across the street sold for less than I have this appraised at. And given the challenges due to the access and due to some of the other topographic issues, and the value did change significantly based on the sale and the building of the other home. So that value went up significantly. It wasn't, just the normal market change. And so, I mean, I wouldn't have an issue if this one was approved based on that factual error.
On factual.
Yeah. It's not what they're asking for, but it might be something. There is
Well,
some
if there's
place.
factual in there, that's different from me. I don't mind
Yeah.
having them go back to it. Of course, they clicked extraordinary, which I don't see any extraordinary in there, but
So if you were to approve this, so you'll just respond back that this is also inclusive of a factual error.
Yeah.
And a factual error doesn't require a good reason for missing the deadline. We can accept the board can accept a factual error for any reason. If the assessor's office is in agreement.
I'll make the motion that we approve number 20 based on a perceived factual error.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, that passes 2-0. Agenda number 21, approve or deny property to hear appeal of property valuation after filing deadline for parcel 0010.
Looks like this is a new move-in. Their notice, they moved in and the warranty deed was recorded way back in January. The notice was sent to, both the tax notice and the valuation notice was sent to the address of record as shown on the warranty deed. I mean, there's no issue with the county's ability to notify or sending out the notice to the correct area. So there's really there's no failure to notify here, I guess, is based off what they're asking. There's no failure to notify.
Yeah, they state that they did not receive anything from the county regarding property taxes prior to receiving the notice.
It's decreased in value?
That's what's confusing. The second to last sentence says that since we purchased the house, it has steadily decreased in value.
Well, that's a valuation, a comment anyway,
Yeah.
and so
Perception.
valuation is not a grounds to approve these.
Okay. And we did mail off. He said they did not receive any documentation from the county. We mailed that off as long with the others.
We mailed both the valuation notice and the tax notice to the same address. Both notices did not come back as returned or undeliverable. And that's the address that matches the warranty deed that was recorded in January.
The one on the applicant.
Yes.
Okay. Inclined to deny this one.
So moved. Number 21.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That passes as denied 2-0. Number 22, approve or deny petition for property valuation after filing deadline for parcel 0059.
Just looking at this one, this is basically almost the exact same situation as the prior one. New owners took ownership this year. Well, it looks like they may have taken ownership last year, but anyways, the notice was sent to the address of record as recorded on the warranty deed. There was no change in the address. The county has fulfilled our requirements to notify.
Okay. I'm inclined to deny this one also.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That passes as denied 2-0. Number 23, approve or deny appeal of property valuation after filing deadline for parcel 0022.
In my notes on this one, I'm stating that the appellant's reason would likely be approved, should likely be approved.
It's a medical.
Yeah, medical.
I'll make a motion that we approve number 23.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That passes 2-0 as approved. Number 24, approve or deny petition of property valuation after filing deadline for parcel 0054.
Again, this is if you note if you look at the notice history. I didn't upload a notice history. Excuse me. Anyways, the address, the notice was sent to the address of record, was not returned. I don't really see anything that indicates that we had a bad address or the county failed out to send the notice on time.
Yeah, in their description, they said they've had problems with the mail service for some time, and they got the notification early November, so this month.
Yeah, obviously, if they're having trouble with their mail delivery, that would be a circumstance outside their control.
Right. I'm inclined to approve that one.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That passes. Number 24 passes 2-0 as approved. Number 25, approve or deny property valuation after filing deadline for parcel 0013.
The appellant on their application stated they were appealing based on a factual error. Unless the assessor's office has some additional information, I didn't see anything where they addressed the factual error, but I would defer to the assessor's office.
Yeah, there's some access and topography issues that weren't adequately taken into account. So yes, there is a factual error.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we approve number 25 as stated.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, that passes as approved 2-0. Number 26, approve, deny property valuation after filing deadline for parcel 0070.
Again, I believe this is a medical issue, and based on what the appellant provided, they would likely meet that standard.
Okay.
That or extraordinary circumstances.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I'll make a motion that we approve number 26.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That pass, number 26 passes as approved, 2-0. Number 27, approve or deny petition, property valuation after filing deadline, parcel 0004.
Again, they're stating, let me see, make sure I've got this right. You make sure they've done 1368. I don't remember if this was notice issue or, yeah, they're listing failure to notify. Again, the appellant, they purchased the property. Yeah, they purchased the property this year, but back in January. Again, we sent the notice to the address provided on the warranty deed. Neither notices were returned. There's no error here as far as the county's requirement to send the notice to the address, and the address matches. So. Clearly, they got the tax notice.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we deny number 27.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That passes 2-0 as denied. Number 28, approve or deny property valuation after filing deadline for parcel 0083.
There's another medical reason, and it looks like they would meet the standard.
Okay.
Make a motion that we approve number 28.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That passes 2-0 as approved. Number 29, approve or deny property valuation after filing deadline, parcel 0123.
This is another request for acceptance based on a factual error. I think this would go back to the assessor's office to determine this.
Chris Polson, County Assessor's Office. This is associated with a golf course. There's only been 2 of these that we've done. One was at Thanksgiving Point where they didn't own their driving range. The other one is at Riverside where they don't own the driving range. Interesting point is the LDS Church actually owned the driving range in both instances, which I thought was odd. But with Thanksgiving Point, we valued the driving range in the same methodology that we did the course. And at Riverside, we did the same thing. This year, for some reason, because the names were different, it was picked up and valued differently than the course itself. So that's why Brigham Young is actually petitioning that we go back to the way we were valuing it before. So
you'd agree?
I believe to stay consistent with what we're doing between that and all the public courses they compete with, I would agree with that, yes.
I'll make a motion that we approve number 29 then.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. 29 passes as approved. Number 30. Approve or deny application for review by Board of Equalization of Farmland Assessment Act status for property numbers 0003.
Hi, I'm Gary Jean Lundquist. This is my property. I received a notice on October 1st that the property had been removed from the green belt due to not meeting the acreage. I purchased the property in 2004 and put the fences up in 2005, and nothing has changed. But I'm absolutely agreeable to be compliant. I would ask for a continuance of the roll back taxes until I can get the fences within compliance of the 5 acre. From what I can tell, the assessment that was had is saying that the fences are out too far and I need to move them in to meet the 5 acre.
That's a lot of work.
Yes, it is. It is a lot of work. Like I said, for the last 17 years, I haven't moved anything, so
You're
I'm
not
not
doing
sure.
that by hand. You're going to use an auger, aren't you?
I hope so. And some neighbors. Auger and some tractors and all that stuff, so.
Okay.
I'd like to be in compliance, but I'd just like to have the opportunity to do so.
Okay. So if nothing's changed, why is it difference now?
Board members, this is Ben Stanley from the County Attorney's Office. I don't know if you can hear me, but this item and the next item on your agenda are very similar. They both involve that strict requirement of 5 acres for eligibility. Diane Garcia may be able to speak to the reasons why the assessor's office removed this one from the Greenbelt assessment.
Diane Garcia, Assessor's Office. So this parcel is 5.30 acres, and currently around 0.92 acres is being used in conjunction with the home as far as landscaping and yard and things like that.
Was it, but it sounds like it's always been that way for previous
It might have been that way
many
for
years.
who knows how long, but until we look at it, we don't know that.
Just, it's like what, she got it in 2004, that's 18 years, though. That's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, and a lot of people expand their yard or change things around, and we don't know that unless they tell us that they're
Right.
using more. So until we come across it,
Yeah, she was saying that what we see now is the way it's been for the last 18 years.
it might be.
Okay.
So,
Sometimes, board members, these items come up for review because of a change in ownership, but sometimes it's just based on a regular routine review or a complaint or something like that.
so it's in production. There's no question there.
Just needs to fix the boundaries.
I didn't get as far as the production. I was doing acreage. But it does appear that the area that's not used for residential is fenced pasture.
Okay.
I'm just looking at the pictures and it looks like I see bales of hay,
Yeah,
Yeah.
see horses on property.
right.
So it looked like it would appear without any calculations that it is in production for farming purposes. Here's the problem. Here's the problem that we run into.
Yes.
In a technical standpoint, it doesn't comply currently.
Sure.
And with us with wearing the hat of Board of Equalization, to make a determination, we need to be very specific on how we make that determination.
Sure.
And so because the fences are, popped out, or whatever the case may be with that, it as it currently stands right now, it doesn't comply, and I think you'd probably agree to that. So in the Board of Equalization, for us to accept this, it would, in this application, it causes some problems because then if it goes to the state, if it's appealed to the state would probably deny it. And then you would have to pay the rollback taxes on it. I see this property as farmland, and it's in production, and it's moving in that direction. And the whole spirit behind the Farmland Act is to allow for farmers to use their land to produce and not be taxed out of their land. So in the spirit of it, I can see what you're trying to do, but in the technical terms of it, with it the way it is now, and in the Board of Equalization, it doesn't comply, and it causes some gymnastics for us as county commissioners. But I think there's an opportunity, and I wanted to explain the opportunity to you, and that is that is this irrigated land?
Yes.
Okay, so there's a couple of opportunities then possibly.
Okay.
And we're not even down the path yet. So I know every time I talk about this, Paul probably goes, "Oh, for crying out loud, here we go again." But we have, as a county commission, passed and have accepted the small, what do they call it, not the small, the urban farming, which, as far as I know right now, we still don't have an application that's applicable to it.
We actually do at this point, Commissioner
do?
Lee.
Okay, I know there was a backlog of individuals who wanted to look at doing that. So if that application is there, that's fantastic. Thank goodness it's finally there.
Okay.
You could go through.
Yeah, I think the assessor's office has made tremendous progress on that.
Good.
And I think they are ready to accept those applications now.
So that's a there's an opportunity there, and it's 1 acre or larger, has to be irrigated land. It has a little bit of a different twist to it than you've had in the past. You have to go through it and qualify for it every year.
Okay.
The problem that we run into is with this process that we're engaged in right now, since it's come before us as Board of Equalization, we would technically have to deny this application and then take it to the Board of County Commissioners. And then with that hat on, we have a whole different set of parameters that we can work with, which would lend into the second option. And the second option would be to take it to, file a 1347 application to the Board of County Commissioners and to let the Board of County Commissioners then work through the process. And if you can get this into compliance by moving the fences and show production on there, which you probably can, then you can probably remain on the same greenbelt status with the Board of County Commissioners agreeing to it. Now, I'm just speaking as one commissioner right now, but you'd probably have that opportunity and would give you a period of time to make sure and perfect that, meaning that you'd have to stay on that for at least 5 years before it actually would come into full effect.
Stay on the urban farming.
You'd stay on the regular production farming that you have now. So there's two options:
Okay.
the urban farming
Okay.
side, and then
then
staying like you have right now, but coming to the Board of County Commissioners and moving the fences. You may not even have to move the fences if you go on the urban side.
Okay,
But
okay.
you'd still have to go through a process with the Board of County Commissioners to find relief when it comes to the greenbelt, the rollback tax. Because the commissioners have the ability to abate, to modify, or change any of those taxes in an appropriate way that makes sense.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is it would probably be within your best interest, I'm assuming, for us to deny this application as it states now, and then you go through the different one. Or you may say, no, I would like you to approve it, and then take it to the state, possibly, if it's appealed to the state, and then see what the state has to say on it. So it's kind of your options on your thoughts.
He doesn't want to get in trouble.
Yeah, he's an auger. Yeah, auger or some one of those.
I'll just tell you that the commission right now is very friendly, as always. I mean, is really friendly too, especially when we see production going on
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
If you're to ask my opinion on it,
yeah.
I would say that the best for me, if it was me in this situation,
Yeah.
I would probably take it to the Board of County Commissioners,
Okay.
deny this one, take it to the Board of County Commissioners, and move your fences so you get into compliance.
Yeah.
Because that way, you're not having to go every single year and go down
Right.
through that process with the urban farming side.
Right.
It stays on for a longer period of time. You're not always going
Yeah.
through that process of review.
Right.
That would be my recommendation.
Does that give you a continuance on the rollback taxes?
Well,
I mean, if you deny it and then I take it to them, does that give you the continuance? Do you understand what I'm
yeah,
saying?
I hear what you're saying, and what that does is the Board of County Commissioners would look at that
Okay.
and
Make a
put
decision.
into place that you need to keep your property in production for at least the next 5 years, right, Paul? Is that correct? The next 5 years, and if you were to fall out of that, then because what we have to do is we have to keep that rollback tax in place, because what we're afraid of is that if we do this and then we just take off the rollback tax on it, then somebody
Change
could
it.
just say, hey, give me this, and then they turn around and develop it just like that. And there's no rollback taxes paid on it. So
Okay.
just out of a fairness basis, we're trying to keep that continuity
Yeah,
continual and through the process.
Okay. So in your opinion, you'd have this denied and then take it before the county commissioners?
Yeah, if it's denied, then you have that other option, to take it through the 1347, which you could get from them right after, get that application right after.
Okay. I think that sounds fair. I think that's a good way to go.
Okay,
Okay. Thanks.
motion.
I'll make a motion that we deny number 30 on our agenda.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Number 30 stands as denied.
So just to make sure we're on the same page, that would, the best point of advice is to get with Diane to get an application for urban farming.
Oh, I thought they were not going to do,
Or the 13, or go through.
that they're going to go, yeah.
Yeah,
And
there's
then
the
they're,
two options.
you-
then they're
do
going to
both,
move the fences and try to get on Greenbelt again.
I would look at both of them.
Okay.
Both options.
Look at both of them and see which one you feel comfortable with.
Is
You
urban
want to
you have-
apply for one of those ASAP.
Yeah, so,
And then you can get Adam's contact info right here in the front row. Okay. And he works those 1347
yeah,
applications.
and keep in mind, if we do urban farming, it's an annual application
More
thereafter.
work involved.
Okay. Okay,
Number 31?
31, yes, ma'am. Approve, deny application for review, Board of Equalization for farmland assessment access for serial number 0058.
Okay, Diane Garcia for the assessor's office. So this parcel started out to be 5.13 acres. I know they've had some adjustment done, and it's now 5.25 acres. They had some documents reworked in the recorder's office. The calculation of the area that's used in conjunction with the home and the residential use comes out to 0.81, so that does not leave 5 acres. And you guys have photos there and stuff, so that's the issue on this one.
So on the really quick on the, when I kind of zoomed in, and I can see this is a cherries, correct? It's a cherry.
Yeah.
Used to be a cherry orchard? Okay, because I can see, it looks to me like there's cherry trees inside that yellow area.
Yes.
Is that not part of?
It looks more like they're landscaping trees left for landscaping,
They're fruit trees. A lot of them are fruit trees.
but they're not cherries.
No, there are other fruit. There is one cherry tree. We left one.
So it's
Okay.
more like, when you plant fruit trees around your home as part of your garden area, it's not like it's rows and rows of fruit trees.
No, it's rose.
Yeah, it's
There's 2 rows.
page 3 of 4. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 rows.
So,
So, board members, if I can, go ahead, Diane. I was just going to interject. What the assessor's office looks at is a standard of practice of the Tax Commission 7.3.1, which says the home site and property used in conjunction with the home site. And so if there are fruit-bearing trees, but they're used for kind of supplementing the snacks around the house and not put out for sale or meant to be part of the agricultural production, but just used with the residents, then it is excluded from the calculation of the acreage required for greenbelt assessment.
It has to be, you have to generate at least $1,000, if I remember right, $1,000 worth of,
It's no longer a dollar amount.
There's actually not a dollar amount that's required. There used to be in the old version of the Farmland Assessment Act. Now it no longer requires a specific dollar amount. It requires this reasonable expectation of profit and excludes the home site and property used in conjunction with the home site.
okay, can I talk now? We've only owned this property for like a year and a half. It'll be 2 years on December 31st. It was my father's property. And I just assumed it would stay in Greenbelt because we had the 5 1/4 acres. I didn't know, you got to reapply. And then when I read the application, it says that my land will have a lien on it. and drones will be flying over it. And it's like, what? So I'm a little baffled by all this. And
It already
on
has
the
a
one
lane.
side of our house, there's 2 rows of orchard, okay? And then we have planted nut trees along the top. And then on the back, we have another orchard. And then we just planted pasture in all the back. Plus, we have a huge garden. So, I mean, most of our land is in farming, but is there anything you want to add?
Yeah, and we could go to the farmer's market and sell our apples and peaches.
But we haven't had an opportunity to sell anything yet. We haven't had, our pasture's not all the way up. You know, it's like,
And we just planted all the walnut trees. It's gonna take a couple of years for them to
Yeah.
produce.
so,
Here's my confusion. So the trees that are there right now, are they producing?
yeah. Well, their one part is, the other part, they're small. We just planted them.
Okay, yeah. So
So-
they're in production.
They're just
Because I
brand
see
new.
that field next to you that looks like it's all in production with fruit trees.
No, it's all gone now. We took out all the trees the first year after my father died. My husband and I took them all out.
So
Talking
I'm
about
looking
outside,
at,
Yeah, let me
outside.
I'm
see.
looking
Can I
at,
see
I'm
the
looking at
picture?
two, yeah.
Yes.
So this is your property right here, right? I'm talking about this property over here.
Yeah, it's not in fruit trees anymore.
Oh, that one's not in fruit
No,
trees.
it's been sold and he planted, what did he plant pasture in?
That's an April 21 photo.
Okay.
Yeah, pasture grass and
And then
alfalfa
and then the trees that we're looking at right now
Those
that are in there are not there anymore.
there. No, there's just one. One tree left.
So you're changing the use of the land for other products, not fruit or nut.
Right, well, we are growing fruit, but we're gonna have a pasture with cows, probably a couple of horses. But, and we have chickens and guinea hens and so.
Well, all for sale or for farm purposes. I mean, they're pasture
Well-
for beef cattle that sell.
Yeah. That's what we intend to do.
Okay.
But like, we're just getting started, you know. We're new at this.
Yeah.
Not at farming necessarily, but we're new at all this stuff.
It's all irrigated land.
There's a lot of old farm buildings. There's barns and granaries and
So I see yours just a little differently than I see the previous one, just because those trees are gone now and you're going through a different process. It appears to me, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it appears to me like you're changing the farming operation from fruit trees to, to maybe some trees,
correct.
pasture, cattle, horses, and some of the, and I don't even know about some of the areas. Gardens aren't even a part of, they don't count gardens as part of it.
Even if a
just
lot of it is
FYI.
corn that we would sell.
Well, if you had rows and rows of, if it was in a rows and rows of corn, that might be different. That would be more on the
Yeah, that's what we're
agricultural
gonna
side, but not a
do
garden.
on the one back strip above the garden. I can't even tell on this picture, but it goes all the way out to the road. It's a big strip. So
Big
we'd
strip.
have
Okay, so
several
that would
rows.
probably qualify. I'm wondering, like I mentioned to the other, the lady, she's in production now, and it's a matter of doing it. You're trying to get yourself in production, and you've got a parcel of land here that doesn't necessarily qualify all the way for the 5 1/4 acre size. It almost seems like the urban farming side would be more applicable to what you're trying to accomplish, and then you could just diagram out how much of that is going to be in production.
Now, urban farming, you can have, as I mentioned before, at least 1 acre of production.
Well, I have a lot more than that, but
You do
anyway.
2 or 3.
What are the taxes? What would the taxes be if I am not on the green belt? What would the normal taxes be?
I thought it was.
Well, we do, but I don't like the application. I don't want to put a lien on my property.
It already has a lien on.
How?
That's the reason why it's in Greenbelt, or it was in Greenbelt.
It was, but it isn't now, correct?
Your father or whoever owned the property had to sign for a lien
Right, right,
to
he
get that
did.
preferred status.
Right.
Yeah, and so now the sale of it transfers, or inheritance. I don't know which way you received it, but it doesn't
It was
matter.
inheritance.
Inheritance, so it just transfers with the property.
The green belt does?
The lien does on that, so it's agreed to. It was agreed to. It stays with the property.
The lien he's referring to is a condition. As long as you keep it in greenbelt status, you would not be taxed as other properties are taxed. They're not used for agricultural purposes. So it's more of a conditional use land.
Right.
That's
but-
what it means by a lien.
And what-
It existed for when the farm was first set up.
Okay, and it says that the land must produce in excess of 50% of the average agricultural production per acre. What is that?
Yeah, that's a measurement. That's a measurement. So if you're growing corn or if you're growing hay or whatever it is, it has to produce at a certain level, and that's that measurement of level that it has to produce to, so they can stay in production.
But I'm retired, now you want me to work?
I don't, I still don't understand what that percentage is, and then it says that you, let's see. To submit to field audits and reviews, including drones. I don't know, I just don't like the sound of it all. So what would my taxes be if I'm
I
not?
don't know. What would they be, Bert? Do you have
Greenbelt.
an idea? If the 5-year rollback came off?
Let me see if I can figure that out.
So if the nature of the land use was changed and became more residential than agricultural, then you would owe the previous 5 years worth of taxes if it was residential, those previous 5 years.
So what you're saying is, basically, if I don't get on the green belt, I don't have the other paper, but the rollback was like $7,500.
Yeah, and that's for the 5 years in which you got a substantially less tax burden. So it would have been taxed at this amount, but because of Greenbelt, you only paid this, and so that adds up for 5 years. And if it's off Greenbelt, then you take that and add that up over the 5 years, and that's how you pay the rollback tax.
And
That
answer the
doesn't make
question.
sense to me because
It was
it
a-
was in farming, and I've only been there a year and a half, so,
Yeah,
yeah, it was my dad.
Yeah.
It looks like the taxes on this portion for 2022, the Greenbelt rollback was, for 2022 was $2,466.66. So you'd probably take that, add that to the 2022 taxes that were paid on this property, and that would give you about the approximate amount you would pay in taxes every year. The question, though, is I believe this property was recently subdivided, so I don't know that I can really give a good answer
It wasn't,
to that.
just my piece was subdivided from
Right,
it.
but meaning that we haven't
yeah.
assessed it in this configuration before, so I don't have reliable data yet, because I don't know we don't have a 2023 value yet, so you'd have to basically just, guess.
I know the previous was about 11,000, wasn't it? On the rollback. It doesn't mean that it's the same. It just means to kind of give you an idea of what that looks like for 5 years. Yeah.
so
You gotta get on the green belt.
But you've got to add in the regular tax amount that they did pay on the residential part. would
Yeah.
be-
Yeah.
Qualify for it, so what's the big deal?
There's going to be a portion of this property moving forward that will be taxed at full, will be assessed and taxed as a residential portion, so that does factor into that, so.
yeah, that would be just your home and driveway any outhouses are associated with residential property, not being used for farm. That's all considered part of residential. And so the 5.25 acres you need minimum that you need for greenbelt, a quarter of that 5.25 acres is only residential. The other 5 acres has to be used for agricultural use specifically.
Okay, I don't understand how they came up with .81. That was not.
The drawing that you showed.
Can you project that back up there again?
Yeah, 1 second. Let me pull
It's
that up.
the
for you.
yellow?
Area. So you look at it and you just do Vaughn and.
Okay, yeah, I'd like to see that again.
Up there to the left is the orchard that we have, and it don't show it.
It doesn't even show it.
Where's the orchard you
It's
refer
this
to?
side of the
Is
house.
it here?
No, it's on the
there.
lawn in the yellow part.
Yeah, all of that's orchard.
Yeah, that's orchard right in there.
These sheds are gone?
Those aren't sheds. I don't know what that
I
is.
can't tell from this distance, but it looks like sheds over here.
No,
So you have,
there's no sheds there.
so you have trees over here now.
Yeah,
Go-
they're orchard.
Go to
I've always
the
been
go to the
there
one that's
along
closer,
there.
and it will show it.
So all we really have that isn't farmland
There.
is a very small backyard. Boy, that looks like a mess. I can't even tell what that is. What?
That's showing the stuff across the street, isn't it?
Nope.
I see our house. Okay, there's the orchard.
Right here, I think is what you're talking about. It's recent.
Yeah, that's the orchard. That's
This was in the yellow.
right, right.
That was the question, is this part of the orchard or is it not?
Oh, there was trucks there pruning, taking out some trees. That's what that was.
These are trucks.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
That's the garden.
that's the big garden. Plus, we've extended it all the way down to the end of the property above that little orchard. So it will, yeah, out on the other side, right there. Yep, all that is going to be in corn.
So is that red shed still there?
Yeah, that's my she
So,
shed.
okay, so the garden is going around the shed and coming toward us then?
Yeah, it'll come up across the top of the back of the grass there,
Mm-hmm.
all the way down to the road will be corn. And then we have nut trees all along the back there. I don't know, you know what, that was our big pile of wood after we cut a lot of the trees. So that's gone, we've moved it. And then we've planted orchard back there where those other trucks are. We've got, how many rows, 2 so far?
What, trees?
Yeah, how many
Three,
rows?
three rows of trees.
Trees.
Yeah, this picture was taken April of last year, so it's a little year and a half old.
Yeah, lots happened in that amount of time. You see all those trees, we cut all those down. That was a job. But
Okay.
then, you have all the barns and all those buildings are farm. Our chickens are back there and,
Okay.
you know, I mean, the majority of it is farm because really all you have is the pine tree area and up a little bit and then that tiny little backyard area.
Okay.
So I'll make a suggestion.
Okay.
What if we were to continue this and then give you an opportunity, because it seems like there's a lot of information that you don't know, or maybe you could get up to speed on, visit with Diane and or Paul as well, or whoever, and and get up to speed on, you know, what production is, what an urban farming looks like. Maybe bring some of the plans that you have in place and that you're planning on doing with the land, and seeing what that looks like, and then bring it back before us as the Board of Equalization. I know Sally's just saying, no, don't do that. But anyway,
Why?
but I think it would give us an opportunity, because it seems like we're talking over here, and your understanding level of what Greenbelt actually really is not at the level of a good conversation of what we're trying to accomplish. And so I think that would give us a better opportunity if you talk about Greenbelt, what it is, How come we have rollbacks on it? How come it goes back 5 years? Also talk to her about urban farming, what that means, and what your plans are into the future with that. And I think that would give, at least as members of the board of equalization, to give us an opportunity to know a little bit more about what can be done. Otherwise, we're just kind of guessing a little bit on what can be done. We could approve it, and if it gets appealed to the state, you'll pay the whatever it is, might be $11,000 in rollback. If you want to keep it on Greenbelt, there might be an opportunity there. Maybe you want to take it off. I don't know. Maybe you just want to say, you know what, let's not do Greenbelt anymore. It's too much of a hassle or whatever, and we're going to substantially go down. We want to use this more for, playground for the grandkids, assuming you have grandkids or whatever the case may be. You might want to shrink the whole thing. But anyway, you can look at all those
It's
options.
already in farm, it's already planted.
Yeah.
The
And
pasture's
so if it's
already
there,
planted.
the pasture's planted, at least it gives you opportunities to see what's going on, and you can see what is the possibilities.
Okay,
Okay, I'll make a motion that we continue this, which is when?
That'll be the December 15th. Yep.
December 15th. Okay.
Okay, so you have some work to do. Get with Diane, maybe Adam. I don't know who on that side, and talk about what's going on. So I made that motion to continue this to December 15th, our next meeting.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, that passes 2-0. It's continued to December 15th, 2022.
one more thing I'd like to say. I used to deliver mail. Mail gets lost all the time. And stolen, and you got lousy people who deliver sometimes.
I appreciate that.
We're usually pretty consistent with. So motion to adjourn.
I can second that motion. We are adjourned. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Given we were half an hour late, we did pretty good.